Hi, this is Kerry with Filmmaker Central, and today I'm going to show you a new light from Digital Photo. So stay right there. We'll be right back. Now, there is a lot of companies right now getting into the LED lighting game. And there's the big brands, Aperture and Godex, and there's smaller companies, and one of those is Digital Photo. And I have one of their lights right here. They did send this to me for a review, so just to be open about that. But I'm going to give it as honest and unbiased review as possible. They're not paying me for it, but they did send me the product. So we'll get to a little unboxing here. Okay, so inside here we have some accessories, and it looks like the light itself. Let's take a look at the light first. So it's packaged in its own box here. Love these tight fitting boxes. Ugh. There we go. So here we have the light. And I'm gonna grab my phone over here. This is an iPhone XS. So I'm gonna do some comparison here. It is just slightly shorter than the XS. It is just only a few millimeters wider than the XS. And in terms of thickness, because I have the case on here, it is almost identical. So again, you can see how close it is in size to an iPhone XS. So that's for comparison purposes there. And what we have here is a bicolor. So by bicolor, it means there's two colors of LEDs. There's 60 white and 60 yellow, giving us the ability to change the color temperature. Now, this is not an RGB light. There's no red, green, and blue in here. This is simply a single light that can go from cool to warm. That's it. Now, the advantage there is going to be price. The price point on this guy is $72. And when we get into the amount of accessories that come with it, you'll see why. Just so we know, this is the Digital Photo YY120. So 120 meaning 120 LEDs on here. And they alternate between white and yellow. You'll see that in a second. And it has a built-in diffuser panel, has two little openings here. They say these are for lanyards. On top, we have a USB-C charging port, and this can also be used to charge your phone. So in a crunch, if you need to put a charge on your phone, you could plug a cable in here and then go to your phone and use this as a power bank. Let's see, on the one side here and on the bottom, we have quarter 20. Whoa, almost dropped it. And this is a aluminum shell. So it will take some abuse, although I didn't want to drop it on the tile floor here. Now let's see, on the back, we have our display. On the side, we have power, mode, and plus and minus. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold this down for a moment and turn it on. And we have, I'm gonna turn the power down here. Kind of blinding myself with this thing. Okay, so I've got it at 1% power right now. And we have in yellow here, we have the amount of time remaining. At 1%, it is saying we have 99.9 hours remaining on this battery. I don't know how true that is. I haven't set this thing up for 4 days to watch it run. The mode switches between the brightness and the color temperature. So you can see this now. I've got it at 1% power. I'm going to switch it to color temperature, and I can go down to 3200, which is its warmest setting. And then we'll go up to 5600, which is its coolest setting. So more of a daylight look versus a tungsten look. And then if we kind of balance that out a little bit, right there around 3800, we have kind of the maximum output there with all 120 LEDs on. So I'm going to go ahead and warm this or cool it off a little bit, take it to about 5600, which should be the same as my Godox SL60W, which is my primary light source over here. Now, we could use this as a fill light, not bad. Let's bump up the power on here. Pretty nice light on here. Even though I can see the LEDs individually on here, when it comes to casting shadows, this diffuser actually is working really well. We're actually pretty surprised with the results we're getting on it. Very happy with it so far. Now, if you are very close to something, trying to do macro shots, what you're going to end up with, though, is the shadows having banding in them because the lights just aren't acting as a single light source. They're acting like 120 light sources. So you'll see the columns and rows in the shadows if you are right up on top of something. If you get back a foot or two, that is going to go away and you'll have much smoother, softer shadows. So it's not really good for close-up macro work, but you pull it back if you're trying to get shadows in there. If you're trying to show something and shadows behind it, those shadows are not going to look very good with the light up at a very close distance. Now, let's take a look at the accessories that we get. So, start off, and we have the standard, very loud, crunchy, anti-static bag. And we have 2 cables in here. We have a USB-A to USB-C. This is used to charge the light. And then we have a reverse USB-A to USB-C, which is used to charge your phone. So you would plug the USB-C into the light and then plug your devices into the USB-A to charge them. Then we have a hex wrench. I'm going to get to this in a second. We have just a standard cold shoe mount. So threaded, so it'll go into the light on one side and into a cold shoe or hot shoe on the other end. Fine for putting it on your camera, or if you have a standard speed light mount, you can put that on there. Now, there are other kits that you might find on Amazon that may come in a little cheaper, but they're going to have cheaper accessories for sure. And this is what I really like about the DigitalFoto one, is the number of accessories that you get and the quality of them. Now, this one is a tilting cold shoe mount. This one I really like. It has a friction-based cold shoe, so I can turn it in whatever direction I want, which locks down. Very, very good quality on here. And then a thumb screw underneath to go into the light. So get a close-up of that here. And then you can just tilt it in whatever angle you want. And there are screws here on the top here and on the side here to adjust that amount of friction. So if it starts getting loose over time and it's not holding the light up, that's where that hex wrench comes in, is I can just tighten this up and get it back to the level of friction that I want. Now, there's this other bag in here that contains an L bracket. Now, this, I think, is excellent. And the build quality on this L bracket for this light is serious overkill. This is a way sturdier mount than this light needs for sure. So now we have cold shoe mount on the bottom to go on a speed light stand or a camera cold shoe or hot shoe, which also has a 1/4-20 on the bottom, which is handy. It has a cold shoe mount on the side, so you could add another light or a microphone there. And of course, being able to adjust the tilt and the yaw on this thing is very, very nice. Now, to top it off, it does have this nice little felt bag, which at first I thought, man, this thing is pretty big for this light. Most of them are really tight for the lights themselves, but with the L bracket on here, it fits in perfectly. So you can always keep that L bracket on for what I would think is maximum flexibility, and you can take it off if you need to use one of the other mounts for whatever reason. But I think I will probably keep the L bracket on here simply because it's run and gun. I can throw it on a 1/4 20 mount. I can throw it on a cold shoe, hot shoe. I can throw it on a speed light mount. I can do whatever I need to it. And if I need to throw a microphone next to it, I can do that. It's just really, really good functionality on here. Now, I'm going to turn this thing back on. And I don't know if you caught earlier when I said that the light was at 1%. Okay. Very, very, very few lights will let you go to 1%. They'll usually kick in, or maybe they'll turn on, and then as you increase the power, they'll just kind of jump until they get into like 10, 15, or 20%, and then they'll ramp up nice and slow. This guy, the DigitalFoto YY120, can go to 0%, and then it can go up to 100% in 1% increments. So, and if you just hold it down, it'll kick in pretty fast. And there's 100%. Yeah, that's kind of bright. But I like the ability to go all the way down to 1%, and it's very, very smooth. There we go. And it turns off at 0%. Because sometimes 10% is too much, and now you have to push the light further away so it falls off faster, but now you're spilling the light in more places. You don't have the control of the light in terms of size, softness, and amount that you do when you have this guy, which at 1%, I can bring it in really close to something and get it, or and not have any spill. And that's the biggie. I'm lighting the subject. If I want to light more, well, then I can turn it up and pull it more away. So having the ability to go all the way down to 1%, I think is huge. I think that's a big benefit of this over other lights in its category. This is a very popular form factor right now. You've seen it with me with the bowling P1 with that RGB light. We're also going to see that with an upcoming Falcon Eyes, what's that called? The F7 light that's coming out. So this form factor is going to be pretty popular, but they all seem to have slight differences. Those are that I talked about are RGB lights. This is just a bicolor, and it's half the price of those other lights. You're going to get into this for $72. And if all you need is this type of light to light a subject, a person, this is going to be the right deal. In the background here, you see this blue accent light, and that's being done with the bowling P1. I actually have it right here on a light stand, just giving some separation between me and the background there. Different lights for different purposes. I could use that to light me because I can just set the color temperature to match the Godex SL60 up here, but I really like this colored accent behind me, and a more inexpensive light like the YY120 is going to do a better job of just lighting me as a fill light versus the key light that I have over here. And maybe you can use this as a key light, I'm going to go ahead and we'll turn that off. So now I'll kick this light up and, try it in some different angles. And that actually is not too bad. I've got a nice contrast over here. I can't really tell the exposure because I'm just looking at the camera. I can't really see what's going on here, but it does seem like in the right situations, this could end up being a pretty decent little key light. It's not very big. I mean, the throw is pretty wide. It's about 120 degrees, so it's not perfect for every situation, but it's not this huge 36-inch light source that I have with the SL60. But in a pinch, if I needed just a very simple key light, I could put that up, put it at a decent angle, and it's going to work just fine. So depending on your needs, this could be a really good purchase. I definitely recommend it if you're going to be using it as a fill light or a hair light, a backlight, something like that. For the cost savings of this over other products for only $72, you cannot lose with this. And the fact that it comes with much better accessories, the L bracket, the tilting bracket, and the regular cold shoe bracket, I think those are fantastic additions, and they're all really good quality. I mean, look at this L bracket here. It is it is literally almost as thick as the light itself. You are not going to break this L bracket. So super high quality, good quality light. This light is rated at a plus or equals 95 CRI. So the color reproduction is going to be fantastic. Where cheaper lights that have a lower CRI, the colors are just going to look muddied. They might look greenish. They might look off. This light is going to give you good, accurate colors. So 95 CRI. The lighting is really good on it. I'll show a couple other examples of the light dispersion. So you can see it does have a pretty wide angle. So it'll work really good in a lot of situations. Check it out. It's the DigitalFoto YY120. This has been Carrie with Filmmaker Central. Be sure and check us out at filmmakercentral.com, the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/Filmmaker Central. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will catch you later. Bye-bye.